If you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers, and Patreon members. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yes, as I told you before that, you might hear the difference in my voice is because I am traveling north, in Wayne, Uglisome territory, Canada, in a deportee, so I am traveling in a thing called TDY. So finally, you're going to hear Lisa Hanna, we're going to let you hear a video where Lisa Hanna this Uglisome by calling him a liar, Uglisome, you see him there, fall asleep and alive, I don't know what happened today. I just see him face look like some beat out pum and see him there, him is a rat too. I'm saying, he and him friends are involved in all kind of coke activity in England, and some went to prison, and Uglisome find himself in Canada now. You understand? So I just say it goes. So we are making listen to Lisa Hanna. I tell you, I say Lisa Hanna, this Uglisome, and I want to wicked this way. But that's how it is, finally. I don't know if she gets some guts now because, she about to exit the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization for good. But throughout my life, I have never met an honest liar or a noble criminal. Because let's face it, that species doesn't exist. But if Jamaica ever need to host the Olympic Games for the world-class line, I'm telling you, I mean, if Jamaica need to host an Olympic Games for world-class line, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization will take gold, silver, and bronze. Let me tell you this, alright? So if you think I joke, I make. Let me repeat myself. If Jamaica ever needed to host the Olympic Games for world-class line, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization would take home the gold, silver, and bronze. Nobody else could win it because I tell you, them write the Bible. They are the liars of biblical proportions. I tell you, the type who could look you dead in the eye, swear on the Holy Bible, and still say the sun set in the east and rises in the west. Don't believe me? Let's stroll down memory lane, shall we? Alright. Alright, so that's how I would do over here. So, when you speak the truth, let me tell you, anytime you speak the truth and you hear somebody without you even tell them which political party you lean towards or which one you support, once you start talk the truth, I hear them tell us, once you say something and them say, you're a labor right, a truth you speak, because them people that in them vocabulary, may I tell you, anytime PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization, voters, supporters and activists speak truth, them sick. That's why Roger Clark, they get heart attack. A heart attack kill, the heart attack will lick Roger Clark in a airport, a truth in go talk. Him forget the memo. Anytime you speak the truth as a PMP, and then they are go dead. Just remember that. I just saw it go. So, remember the heart-wrenching rape and murder of Diane Smith? Yes. The brilliant, young, immaculate conception high school student whose life was stolen in one of the most heinous crimes in Jamaica's history. A crime so vile, it shook the conscience of the nation. And what did the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization do? Did they mourn? Did they seek justice? No. They did what they do best. They manufactured that lie, package it like it was gospel and start peddling it in every garrison, radio program, rum bar, like it was back to school sale at Bashka. Their target, young Darrell Voss. For decades, Darrell Voss lived through that wickedness. According to the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization Life Factory, Darrell Voss was a boogeyman responsible for that crime. Hey, I'm under the local weather, so you understand what I'm saying, because I'm in North. I am, yes, in Uglisome territory. Yes. So even though he was thousands of miles away in Florida studying at Miami-Dade Community College at the time, yes, you heard it right. The man was in a foreign country, but somehow he must have teleported like night crawler from X-Men, committed the crime and then zip back into the time for his sociology exam. Yes, I remember exam even when the girl was killed that morning. You know. So maybe the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization thinks community college is a code, is the code for hitman training. You know, my voice is not the same as you understand. So they think that the community college is a code for hitman training camp. Dummy them, that's how they are. So even the US State Department had to step in and say, you all gone too far now. They confirmed what the documents showed. Vaz was not in Jamaica, but did not stop the propaganda parrot sub chirping. Nope. The PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization crowd kept the lie alive like it was their national anthem. Every election, every controversy, every time they needed a distraction, they dusted off that lie like a vintage Peter Touch record. Enter Dr. Dayton, Kids Meal, Campbell. I don't know where the kids meal, if I Kentucky or something, but maybe somebody can put in a comment what they mean by kids meal. Cause Karen Cross me said it, and yeah, and what's your name, man? Natalie. Yeah, the General Secretary of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, a man who clearly skipped the chapter on defamation in his law books. He got so comfortable regurgitating the lie that he forgot one crucial thing. Truth is a defense in court, but lies come with legal bills. So now he sees in the Supreme Court, and guess what? He's about to learn that when you lie on people long enough, the truth eventually come with interest, court cards, and a very angry Darrell Voss. Chris Porter don't feel sorry for him. Not one bit. Why? Because I too have been victim of the PMP LGBTQ criminal organization's propaganda machine. And leading the circus of the seat was none other than Wayne Uglisome. Yeah man, Uglisome, the walking scandal bag, who someone believes is the voice of morality. This is the same Uglisome whose father was once caught with his pants down, literally getting cozy with her ER in a back alley down by Blood Bank. I always say ER, we are at donkey. He dip on the channel, fee him father. Police catch him father with him in a blue bag, you know, blue suit, blue seam, uniform with him, down by him ankle, and behind a ER, a donkey. Yes, the man was busted by Kingston Western detectives, and the only reason he wasn't charged was because the police didn't want to embarrass the goats. Yeah, man, they don't want to embarrass the goats, them. Also, we are talking about the legendary police. Them don't want to embarrass because he was blue bag. So, you have a bad police named Joe Williams. Joe Williams said, oh no, you know, can't do that, you know. Give him a break. So when I say these people have no shame, I mean it from the bottom of my soul. Their lies don't just ruin reputations. They bury truths, confuse the people, and destroy lives. The PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organizations operates on one principle. Repeat a lie long enough, and it becomes a campaign strategy. But not anymore. We are here to shine the light, expose the liars, and bring consequences to their doorstep. So Dr. Kidsmill is learning that lies aren't calorie free, and they can't be burned off with jog around hope gardens. We in Uglisome might soon learn that when you traffic in slander, the toll eventually comes due. And to those still drinking the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization Kool-Aid, it's time to detox. Choose facts over fiction. Choose country over corruption. Choose Jamaica over liars in Orange Jersey. So, we're going to listen to Lisa Hanna. So you watch, you listen, and you decide.
In my inbox, and it wasn't only messages like, is this true? Oh my God, is this really happening? But there were clipped videos, and there was like contextless commentary that I saw. There was this false narrative in these videos that were basically born overnight, and I was at the center of this manufactured lie. So not only was it amplified, but it was packaged by YouTube creators, what I call the new self-appointed arbiters of truth, who have no evidence, no analysis. They just create this clickbait conviction, algorithm-fed performance, sloppy paraphrasing, content masquerading as journalism. And it spread, and it spread fast. But this is not my first time to this movie. I've been here before, actually many times. And this time, I said, let me take a step back and look at all of this that's actually happening over by TikTok and all over the place, and the WhatsApp messages flooding. And I said, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. That's what resonated with me. That's what came up in my soul. Because if I've learned anything in my lifetime being a public figure, it's when everybody is shouting, silence is revolutionary. And particularly in this digital age, truth doesn't just compete with lies, it competes with distraction. So we're surrounded by knowledge, drenched in information, but many of us choose to swallow these very shallow lack of substance, surface streams over much deeper currents. We chase trends, we don't chase truth, we don't chase affirmation, we don't even chase understanding, because we've become cultures of reaction, not reflection, and we rarely ask, is this water clean? We just say, well, if it's popular. So how did we get here? How did we lose the quiet compass of discernment? Why do we forward messages 10 times, 100 times without even checking its source, not even one time to say, well, let me check to see if this is right. You just get a message that says forward many times, there's a great hook, and you just send it forward. This is not an accident. These platforms are engineered for conformity. They reward echo chambers. They punish nuance. So the more the narrative is shared, the more it's believed. And the more controversial it is, the faster it spreads. And the more you put a name that's popular in the social media space, it moves. And the herd moves with it. So once that wildebeest, that first wildebeest hears that drop, that crack, that snap, that distraction, and it's not just online. We see it in the markets, we see it in politics, we see it in our daily discourse. There was a study that was done this February 2025, and it was done in Vietnam. And they found a very strong link between herd behavior and FOMO in their financial markets. And what they saw was that investors were driven by the fear of missing out, and they followed the crowd, especially in times of volatility. Does it sound familiar? Because we're not really investing anymore, we're chasing. We're not thinking, we're reacting. And so the markets are not even moving on value, but on momentum, not on understanding, but this urgent anxiety to do what everybody else is doing. It's like some of the farmers I know in my constituency. Everybody planting cabbage, so they plant cabbage. Not thinking, well, what if I do something else? Warren Buffett he's considered one of the world's greatest investors, calls this kind of herd behavior a lemming effect, especially when you're investing in the financial markets. And if you know what a lemming is, it's a rodent, and you can see if one lemming is going to jump off a ship, the entire 1,000 of them are following that one lemming, and they're going to drown. And what he says is that by following the crowd, you're going straight into regret. Because real success, not only in financial markets, but in life and in leadership, comes from independent thought. It comes from courage. It comes from the courage to stand alone. It comes from conviction, not from imitation. And this is the crisis that I see in my time, in our time, in your time. Because we're consuming more, but we're understanding less. And we're hyper-informed, but we're deeply disconnected. Right now, there are 5 billion people globally, approximately 64% of the world's population, who spends at least 2.5 hours online just scrolling. That's a lot of information that they're seeing, but they're disconnected. In business, it shows up as blind investment. Just this month alone, May 2025, there was over $10 billion that was poured into AI crypto tokens, while other local, perhaps impactful real ventures were overlooked. Why? Because those weren't sexy. They weren't trending. They weren't like, hey, look at me. But everybody else was buying AI. And so that kind of ad hoc urgency, blindness, has a cost, and it has a personal one. McKinsey reported that over 2/3 of Gen Z say that social media harms their mental health. They get anxiety, fatigue, the urge to disconnect because they get so fearful, and still the pressure to conform persists. Because if you're not a part of that herd, you don't feel like you are part of something. But here's the truth that many people refuse to confront. Real change, real impactful change, it doesn't happen in a crowd. It happens and begins at the margins. It begins in clarity. It begins in conviction, in silence actually. Because the ones who actually change the world aren't the loudest. They are the most grounded. And we know this in the Caribbean because some of our greatest minds are artists or musicians or leaders or revolutionaries or outliers. They were never a part of the mainstream chorus. They stood apart. They asked harder questions. They found water where none appeared to flow. And in this moment, it demands that same kind of courage. The courage to pause, the courage to think differently, the challenge of what is obvious, to have dissent, to have disagreement, to stop mistaking visibility for value and virality or virality, things that go viral for virtue. It's not. Because there's water all around us. There's creativity, there's innovation, there's wisdom. But if we keep drinking what the crowd drinks or what is being stuffed down our throats, we will never find the deeper wells within ourselves. And so this is not, Lisa's not calling you to isolation. I don't want you to retreat. This is a call to intention. I want you to intentionally commit to discernment, to courage. I want you to intentionally commit to discipline in the age of distraction. We can't keep living in a world where insight is drowned out by influence, or you will never have the emotional intelligence to make informed decisions even about your own life. And so we can't keep doing this, not even as a nation that's facing critical choices, especially as the global uncertainty keeps pressing in and knocking on our door and every single door around the world. This herd behavior that I'm talking about, that chooses to follow lies without questioning whether it is true, or as Bob Marley calls it, you're part of this rat race, it's not just reckless, it's dangerous. Because sound bites aren't strategy. Showmanship is not substance. And tossing around the word change isn't a plan, it's filter. Because the lights always dim, the slogans fade, and when they do, what's left is not noise, but truth. And so you have to find the truth, you have to seek it. You have to choose to stand alone or stand on truth, even when it's inconvenient, even when it was quiet. Yeah. Because, now, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. But not because the springs have run dry or that there's no water, but because he never learned to tell water from the mirage of what he's seeing. So he thinks it's water, and he's thirsty. So we have to teach our children not just how to access information, but how to interrogate it, how to question what they see, how to pause before they believe. Because if we do not shape their discernment, the world is going to shape their confusion. So let us not be fools. Let us be seekers. Let us be watchful. Let us be wise. And let us be still enough to see clearly and to be bold enough to choose what truly sustained. Because I can tell you this, if you have or is brave enough to walk away from the crowd to find that deeper well within, I can guarantee you that your life will move in a different way. And so as you do that, take a step back this week. Ask yourself as you scroll, as you hear the rumors, as you see the videos, as you get the WhatsApps that say forward many times, just do a search. And especially when my name comes up, rather than just believe it and walk away and say, yes, man, that is so, do the investigation. Recently I woke up to a storm.
Yeah, so you have listened to Lisa Hanna. When I listen to Lisa Hanna, one of the most honest person on earth. No, Lisa Hanna is a conscience denier. Yeah, man. The reason why we said that Lisa Hanna, she had lied on Queen of Africa. Because that Lisa Hanna would do anything to get power. So she had remember the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization aligned with a man named George Soros, Lord Evil in America. That the man did not believe in a God. Everything is evil for him. He's antithetical towards anything that is decent. So now that you have listened to Lisa Hanna, we know that the goldfish them did reach that far to understand the message. But if those who remember when when during the razor pier, Uglisome had said some things about her really distasteful, in some of the most, because the man's mouth is filthy. But when somebody IQ is limited, don't expect them to express themselves in a certain way. That's the reason why Rattigan had told him when they went to Canada that Uglisome must not talk with the people who have high school diploma upward. He must have talked to his people. That was, in case you don't know, that was a really low blow and a really kick in the gut. So the way Uglisome lies, you think he was born inside a fib factory. This man doesn't just lie. He performs like Shakespeare in the park. Each one comes with theatrical flair, imaginary backstories, and plot twist so outrageous. Even Netflix would pass on the script. Let me give you a classic example of what deserves its own museum exhibit under the category Delusions of Grandeur. At one point, Uglisome claimed with a straight face that he used to attend Queen's High School. Yes, Queen's High School up by Constant Spring Road. Let that sink in. No, for the benefit for those who may not know, Queen's High School is all girls institution, no co-ed, not gender fluid, not home to audition, girls only. Always has been. So for Uglisome to say that he used to attend Queen's is like a man saying that he was once Miss World, or that he used to be on a netball team at the center. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he told people he was the head girl in fifth form and led morning devotion. I mean, is this a lie or a cry for help? Because this isn't your regular. I used to be a part of the school community type thing. This is a full-blown hallucination. Was he delivering snacks, passing on his way to Papine, hiding in the bushes to peep, or was he playing school in the backyard with a Queen's school exercise book he thieved from his cousins? This is how far Uglisome ego and desperation for relevance stretch. He doesn't just fabricate achievements, he invents entire biographies. Next week, don't be surprised if he says that he was a JLP campaign manager in the 1980 general election, or that he was on a mission that captured Christopher Dudu's coke. But this Queen's school fantasy is the crown jewel of his delusional resume. It's beyond laughable. It's tragic. It shows you the kind of man who, after failing the police exam 7 times, now walk around acting like a detective, political advisor, and musical prophet, all while living in a world where facts are optional and shame is extended. Small and no shame. So let's get this straight. Lying is Uglisome default setting. If his mouth's open, facts exit the room. If his tongue might as well be sponsored by the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, propaganda and imaginary credentials. And for him to think Jamaicans would actually believe this nonsense about Queens, that's an insult to every thinking human being on the island. But here's the sad part. There are people who still follow him. People who cling to his every word like he's some oracle, when in reality he's just a bitter field man with a Wi-Fi signal and a deeply bruised ego. He's not a voice of the people. He's a voice in his own head. And even that voice, tired of him. So, the next time Uglisome tells you he was a student at Queen's High School, do the nation a favor, hand him a yearbook and ask him to point out his picture. When he can't, kindly escort him to the nearest reality check. No uniform required. Yeah, so, back to reality. So we in Uglisome, Jamaica longest standing, never charting international embarrassment. Sorry, I meant artist. Yeah, in my Uglisome, it a go like about 5 decades. This man a try for bus and can't bus. Every artist come and bust off other people. Merciless, Zebra, Buju Banton, all of them man there. So, let's be honest. In Uglisome's mind, he's a Grammy nominee. He couldn't even crack the Billboard 1 million chart, much less at 100. His musical career is so far off the radar that even Google Maps would tell him, sorry, we can't find that location. But don't worry, he did make history in something. He holds a Guinness record for the most failed police entrance in Jamaica's history. 7 times. At this point, even the test paper itself is saying, please, may I beg you, go and find something else to do. But ugly fun, not fun. Some people say ugly fun, now it's Uglisome. Did find something he truly world class at lying. If lying was a talent, Uglisome would be bigger than Bob Marley. This man lies like it's a full-time job with pension, health insurance, and an annual bonus. He's so good at lying that he could tell you water dry and convince you to buy a desert. And when it comes to disrespecting women, especially strong, intelligent women who don't toe the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization party's line, Uglisome has a PhD in nastiness. Case in point, Lisa Hanna. Now, Lisa Hanna, Miss World, turned parliamentarian, is no stranger to the spotlight. She made a few statements recently that sounded like she was giving the JLP government a smidgen of credit. Oh no, not in the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization cult. That's a mortal sin. You see, once you are a card-carrying member of that criminal circus, you are expected to bark, growl, and bite and command. Especially when it's come to attacking anything remotely positive about the Jamaica Labour Party. Even if Andrew Holness was handing out gold bars in half a tree, PNP LGBTQ plus members would complain they weren't polished enough. So what did Wayne, Big Lie, Uglisome do? He went on full-blown verbal assault, using every colourful, degraded and vulgar word he could scrape from the bottom of the gutter to describe Lisa Hanna. And why? Because she dared to exercise independent thought. Because she dared to sound like heaven forbids a Jamaica first and not a cult member. But guess what? The bombshell has dropped. Lisa Hanna has finally responded, and she dropped verbal Nepal and Uglisome's entire clown show. No dancing around the issue, no sugarcoating, just straight shots to the truth vein. And here at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we say it with pride. Finally, Lisa Hanna is standing up to the charlatan of all charlatans. And you know, it hurts Uglisome. Oh, it hurt bad. You could hear it in his next live stream. He was stuttering with more than a CD with a scratch. His voice went from boom to broomstick. Suddenly the man was always had so much to say about everybody else, was at loss for words, like a parrot who forgot how to squawk. The truth is, Wayne Uglisome is not a patriot. He's a parasite feeding off the ignorance of others while pretending to be a voice of the people. But his only real talent is taking his personal failures, packaging them in lies, and blaming everyone else for his shortcomings. A man who failed to serve in the police force, failed to make music that mattered, and failed to gain the respect of decent Jamaicans, but has somehow succeeded in becoming the most annoying background noise in Jamaican politics. So Lisa Hanna, hats off to you for finally addressing this political knot. Next time, bring insect repellent too. Remember, being a member of the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization doesn't make you Jamaican. It makes you a propaganda puppet. And Wayne Uglisome, he's not an artist. He's an artifice. A walking, talking example of what happens when mediocrity gets a microphone and Wi-Fi connection. Uglisome! Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel.